Hon, give me a thing for you. Put him up too.
Ready?
Yeah. Put him up. Put Dino up.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. There's no volume. TV. Hello, welcome to eCigtv. Because now my sound's working because I got that echo in my ear. I got an echo here. I can't figure out. I got this Jamie, that Protex. He won't call me up. I'm going to try and kill him when I catch him because he won't call me up. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to eCigtv. We got some contests going tonight. Woo-hoo. We're going to give some stuff away, and we're going to leave a catchphrase at the end that's going to activate in the... What's the name of that, huh?
Newsletter scavenger hunt.
Newsletter scavenger hunt. Yeah, I do look different. How you doing, Jimmy? Yeah, I'm a different looking guy. I'm altogether different. If I cut my hair, I pull my hair back, I can look a whole bunch. I'm like a chameleon. I can look all kinds of different ways. All right, so I'm here tonight with Dino, the master of disaster, the Brooklyn bomber.
I'm from the Bronx.
The Bronx bomber. And the guy from New York. You all know who he is. He stands out for himself. But we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Dino got a bunch of new stuff. I got a couple new things. Got this. I'm going to try this, son. We'll try and zoom in. See how that works. This is the thing that Dino gave me. What's the name of this, Dino? You know?
That's the Cyclone.
The Cyclone. This little puppy rocks pretty good. Oh wow, back off, man. I'm
There
gonna
you
kill
go, right
anybody
there.
in the audience. That's the Cyclone, according to him. Whoa, 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 go back, go back. Uh-huh. That's good. And I actually don't have, I got a prototype, but I'm not going to show you too much of that. I got a Nemesis. That puppy's pretty, too. These guys probably know what that looks like anyway. I just loaded this up. 2006. Nemesis. Loaded this up earlier than that. It's working pretty good. I got some K-Funds. I don't have them yet. Dino loaded them up. He hooked them up. They're supposed to be pretty good. He's been trying to get
You're gonna
me
like
to get
these.
them.
Yeah, you're gonna like these. I'll have them in the mail tomorrow. You should love them.
I got all three of them. And good stuff, man. I'm waiting on a shipment. I got a shipment stopping customs right now that should clear up tonight or tomorrow, man. It's stuff I've been waiting for like 8 months. 2 trips to China, 1,000 late night emails, Skype conversations, drawings back and forth, prototypes back and forth to finally shipped. I got some of the prototypes. Here's one here. Just like basically, it's a new bottom coil CE4 VV Nova Mini and the VV Nova full size. And eventually I'm in IGO or KR808 and the Jumbo XL cartomizers. But they work really good, man. All the BS that you have with CE4s, not that it's a lot, but there's a few things with CE4s that are just a pain in the ass to fill them. They leak sometimes out of the top. You got to tilt them to wick them. If you're vaping heavy, that's all. It takes all of this out, and they're basically wickless. It's got like a round cylinder wick in there, man. They're really really good. I had about 6 of them. I gave my wife one. She broke it. I dropped one. I had a mini VV Nova, dude. I'm telling you, if I didn't vape 1,000 milligrams out, I was vaping like 7 mils a day out of it for months, and I dropped it, and then I tried to fix it. That was where the real damage came in when I tried to fix it. I should have just switched the tanks out, but. How about you, Dino? What are you vaping?
Right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because I said something earlier, you didn't answer me. I thought maybe you...
Oh, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I don't remember.
No, it was when I was talking. I thought I heard you say something, but this echo's got me nuts. I don't know whether maybe you said it a half hour ago.
Where you fill those tanks up, from the bottom or the top?
No, they're bottom fill. Here, I'll show you.
You turn it upside down?
Yeah, I'll show you. I got this one. I got a 510 to Ego adapter on it. I don't know how well you can see that. But basically, let me do a zoom. I got the zoom. I'm going to over zoom because I scare the audience or break the camera. How's that?
There you go. That's good.
So, this is a 510 to Ego adapter. It's in there. Now, I'll have these in regular 510. I got them coming.
Right.
So, that's that. But, it's a regular Ego connector. But, you open them up like this. And that's the wick. That's the, they're changeable. It's dual coil bottom. Bottom dual coil cartomizer. I'm telling you, man. I already told you I'm going to send you one for your wife. Send you a couple different ones. She'll throw that Pro Tank right in the tash. Dry that off. I don't know if you can see the holes in there. And it's got like a wick that goes around the inside of it. Like a cup. And then it's virtually wickless. So I say virtually because it's just got like a little ceramic in the center of it that acts as a wick. But like I said, I've been developing these for too long. So that's that. Better show the inside of it. You can tilt this. Oh, that's the other thing. You can tilt this upside and all day.
No,
it's a removable drip tip.
It's a 510 drip tip?
Yep.
Nice.
Take that off so you can't see all the pores in my old face. There you go. Yeah. So, I'm going to give away a couple of these tonight. I'm going to let the people pick, but they're probably not going to ship. I like to try to ship stuff out right away when I give it away, but these aren't going to ship until Thursday or Friday, if I'm lucky. I know they're going to come through customs. I just don't know when. Every time I get larger shipments, for some reason, when they come through Cincinnati, I have a problem. That's good stuff. So what do you got, brother?
I got a Origin dripper that I actually just set it up before the show.
Origin?
Origin. Origen. I think
Origin.
I think it's from Hungary, is the guy who makes it.
But it's not a gen.
It's not
It's
what?
a dripper, right?
What's that?
It's not a Genesis.
No. It's a dripping addy. I got it filled with cotton right now.
Yeah, but they called it an Origin. You got to get a hold of them and tell them I got to straighten that name out. It sounds weird.
Let's see here. Can you?
I can.
That's it right there. I got it on.
Now,
Nemesis.
did you open that hole up, or that's the way it was?
No, it's got like. Let me see if I could show you. What you do is you rotate the top cap, and it has different size holes.
Oh, inside. I see that now. Yeah.
You see how?
Yeah, that's cool.
And it can go from single coil to dual coil. It works. I love it. I like it a lot, actually. And 22 millimeter. Is that focus working?
Sort of. It's catching up, but it's working.
There it is.
Here we go. And that's a drip tip it came with, too. The drip tip could be a little wider. Kind of.
Does that pull off?
The drip tip comes off, yeah. That pulls right off.
But that's not a standard.
No, this is what he made with the mod.
Right.
So I wanted to try it. I tell you what, I like the drip tip. I just not crazy about how small the hole is, but it's kind of narrow, so I guess he made it as wide as he could. So, and that's really about all I got new. But I did get the Copperhead, which I will show you right now. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing.
Wow, I saw that. That was empty. Before.
Just gonna navigate this camera a little bit, but there it is right there.
Now that looks like a medium hole. Not real small.
That hole
right
I drilled that's not going to be the standard size hole, but that's the hole I drilled.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1.4 millimeter hole, and the mod is all copper. I mean the battery section. It's a copper alloy 101 oxygen free ultra conductive. How do you like that?
Wow.
Very fancy name.
I'm getting a word.
And yeah, me too.
Say that one more time.
Copper alloy 101 oxygen free ultra conductive.
It's got no oxygen in it?
I don't know, buddy. All I know is it's good material.
You ought to figure out how to put that in the name. Copper oxygen free head or something like that.
The top cap, we modeled the top cap after the first lava tank we did. That was actually a CE2 tank, and that was about probably 3 years ago.
Huh.
So we wanted to do something. I always liked that design of the top cap of the first lava tank, and John didn't.
That looks like it's two-piece.
Well, this is just a regular 510 drip tip.
Okay.
So this is I'm working with a couple of guys right now trying to get a drip tip made for this thing that will have a copper band on it, and to try to balance out the copper on the bottom with the top.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to be ready for the release, but it's in the works. And the button, I tell you what, John did a hell of a job machining these things. The button is engraved. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that. Let me get my focus back again.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, the engraving is really deep. And the nice part about this is the part that you push
Right.
is the actual part that's making contact with the battery. So there's no screw on the top. We wanted to try to eliminate like all these points of contact, you know, like
Right.
gaps in between. So the part like that, that's a solid piece from the part you're hitting here to the part that's making contact with the battery. And we tried to make this pretty user friendly. So let me get a hold on one second, let me get a little tool.
He's going to go get a user so he can show us how friendly it is.
We made it so you could take it apart fairly easy and clean it without disassembling everything. And I don't know if you could see it or not, but let's see if let me get in here a little closer. I'm going to try to do this on camera. I don't know if you could see there's like a ring around the button. It's like a steel ring. Right here. That steel ring is a retaining clip. And all you do is push the button in, take a little like a jeweler's screwdriver, and then pop this retaining clip out, which you can't see really what I'm doing, but here we go. It's coming. You pop that retaining clip out, and then the button comes out with the spring.
Nice.
Now, all you got to do is clean inside here, and then obviously clean the button, and then put it back together. All the rest of the button stays together. This insulator is spring-loaded to make up for any tolerance in the battery. I don't know if you could see me push it down.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's one of the coolest things I think right there.
Yeah. See there's a C-clip in there, and there's a few wave washers that keep the tension on the Delrin insulator. So we didn't want to make it so you had to tear the whole thing down to clean it. So now you can just clean the inside, put the button. Actually, the spring that's on here now is not the spring that's going to be in production. We have another spring that we're going to use, but it's a real light throw. And then when you're done cleaning it, you don't need any tools to put this retaining clip back in. You just kind of just let's see here. Just pop it in, and you're back in business. And so the nice thing about it is like the bottom of I'll show you the bottom of the Addy. The bottom of the Addy is threaded also, and there's a silver-plated contact on the bottom, but there's no adjustment here. So when you put your tube on and you put your battery in, this one's the 18500. Right there is where the insulator made contact with the battery. Now all you do is just turn it till it bottoms out. Now you get no battery rattle at all. And the throw on the button is so light. I measured it, it's a touch over 1 millimeter. And it fires so nicely. The thing, if you have batteries that are, all batteries are different sizes.
Right.
they vary. So if you have a shorter battery, it might increase the throw on your button slightly, but not enough that I think it's gonna be noticeable.
Right.
But the firing on it is, I don't know if you could hear it. Let me get my, maybe you could hear it when I hit the button. It fires from any part of the button. That spring that's in there carries no current. It's actually resting against the Delrin insulator. We don't want to rely on the spring to carry the current. So you can hit this button on the edge, in the middle, pretty much anywhere, and it fires all the time. I have not had a single misfire on it yet. And go to the headshot for a second.
There you go. Headshot.
And the vape is just, it's perfect. I can fire it with my pinky, or I can fire it with my knuckle. I mean, it's such a short throw and so sensitive. And I took it to work with me the other day. I had it in my pocket all day. It didn't fire once. So it's really working well. I'm very happy with it.
Nice.
I'll show you the bottom. Go back to the hand camera. I'll show you the Addy deck. The Addy chamber is tiny. But let's see here. Pretty basic Addy deck. Let me get my camera here. Okay.
There you go. It's catching up.
You got a 3mm wick hole. I don't remember how big the fill hole is, but it's not. I think it's about 2mm. Pretty much a mirror image of the Lava Gen. It's got threaded top cap. We made sure that the ground screw is just a hair. Actually, the head of the ground screw is just a hair off of the wick hole, so it kind of eliminates the hot lead.
Right.
And we added 2 washers on the positive post that line up with the edge of the wick hole also. So you can see that there's barely any distance in between the wick and where the positive contact is made. And the top cap is threaded. And the other thing is, I don't know if you could see it, there's a little gap underneath the glass. We have a 1mm O-ring in there. So what happens is when you put your top cap on, the cap makes contact with the glass. And if you can see, it's not lined up with the wick. But now you have 1mm of play. So you can align your wick hole with your air hole, and it compresses the O-ring on the bottom of the glass. I think I'm going to change these from black to clear, so it's not so noticeable. And the reason we did that was because when you order glass, there are tolerances in the glass. They're never always perfect.
Right.
So
I know this.
Yeah. So what happens is, if you get a piece of glass that's a hair too long or a hair too short, you'll still be able to line up the wick with the air hole, and there'll still be tension on the top cap,
right?
So that it won't unscrew.
Genius, pal.
Holds 3.5 mils of juice. Yeah, we spent a lot of time designing this thing. I mean, this has been coming for about a year. and I'm really, really happy with the way it came out. It holds 3.5 mils of juice, so you got plenty of juice capacity. I know we're going to be making some 18350s, and there's going to be a lot of 18490s. I don't know for sure if we're going to have 18650s on the first run. But that's about it. And the silver-plated contact, the contact that goes from the positive battery into the atomizer is silver-plated brass. But once it gets into the addy chamber, we have all stainless steel hardware from there. So there's no brass inside the
right.
addy chamber.
So all the juice contact areas are either glass or stainless.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. And if you can
important.
see, well, a lot of people like the brass. I don't like the brass for the simple fact that I don't think it's as durable. I'm not really too concerned about having brass in my atomizer, but it's not as durable. So if you can see here, let's see here. There's as soon as it comes out right there, everything from there up is stainless. And you're not gonna have any brass and juice contact in there. The other thing too is you can see the addy chamber is really reduced. I can actually measure it and tell you exactly how big it is. But
somebody
it's
asking in the chat, why aren't the contacts gold plated?
Because silver plated is a better conductor than gold. And I know it's a little more maintenance, but that's what we chose. We chose the silver. Someone's going to tell me that silver's not. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought silver was a better conductor. The addy chamber is the width of the addy chamber is just under 16 millimeters, and the height is, that's 14 minus 5. So it's, the height of the chamber is 16 by, just under 16 by 9 millimeters tall. It's really, really small. You compare that to any of the other real popular addies that have a reduced chamber. This is probably just as small, if not smaller than them. So you're going to get good flavor. You're going to get great vapor out of this thing. I'm going to send these all out with, I think, a 1.2 millimeter wick hole, because I know there are a lot of people that are going to want to drill them out, but I know there are also a lot of people that are going to want the smaller air. It's a lot easier to make it bigger than it is smaller.
You mean air hole, right? Not wick hole.
Yeah, air hole. Yeah, air hole.
Yeah.
Wick hole's 3 millimeter.
I personally, I prefer the smaller.
Yeah,
but
see,
I don't lung hit.
I like
it depends on whether you
one,
lung hit or not, I think.
Yeah, I like mine about 1.5, and I do lung hits. So, I'm actually even thinking about going smaller, maybe as small as 1 millimeter, just because, like I said, it's so much easier to enlarge it than it is to reduce it.
Right, right.
But that's still up in the air. I may go 1.2. But like I said, man, this thing is working great. I got review units going out probably the end of this week. So there's going to be guys doing reviews on them. And we're going to have a whole big batch ready for VaporCon. And that's where we're going to release them.
When are you sending mine? Listen, I don't do reviews formally. I haven't done them in a while, but I would definitely seriously consider one for you because you're, a pal of mine.
It's been working great. I'm very, very, very pleased with the way it came out. The other thing too we did was, a lot of these guys when they use glass, they put these glass tubes on where you gotta, you're just short of a wrench, you need to take them off.
Say that again.
This
you broke
glass
up. I don't know if you broke up for everybody or just me.
The glass is on there with the O-rings pretty nicely, so you don't have to fight to get the glass off the glass tube out. And the reason we were able to do that is because we got the threaded top cap, so we're not worried about somebody grabbing the top of the mod by the glass and it comes sliding off on you. So it's not going to be a battle to take the glass off this thing and clean it up.
Somebody's asking if you're coming to, I think they called you a bastard. Are you coming to ECC?
No, I'm not going to ECC.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it out there either.
I actually, my reviewer units, I'm getting a total of 15 units. 5 of them are going out to reviewers, and the other 10 are going to go to sort of guys in the community that are very familiar with Genesis atomizers. More like I guess you want to call them the pros.
Right, like me. Like mine's
yeah,
probably going to come out of that 10. Because,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a pro.
Those guys are going to get a chance to buy them first, only because they're going to be able to really test it. And I want the professional guys, the advanced guys, to give their opinion on it. I'm that confident that this thing is going to perform for them. So, and then VaporCon, we're going to have, there'll be for general sale. And then as soon as we get back from VaporCon, we're going to make another big run of them, and then we'll be selling them all over the internet, and whoever wants them will be able to get them.
Have you been able to narrow down a price yet? People are asking. People want to know.
Yes, the price is going to be $300. And we think that's a reasonable price. I mean, today you go out, you buy a good Addy, you spend $150 on it. You buy a good mod, usually they're closer to $200. So we think we are pretty reasonable with the price. There's going to be a lot of add-ons for this thing in the future too. I mean, we're going to eventually offer a 510 top cap for it. We are also, we have some other atomizers that we have drawn up that we're going to do for this as well. Thinking about maybe a dripping Addy. I have a couple other things up my sleeve that John and I have been talking about that we're going to try to do with this too. We use the same, the 20/1 threading, which is pretty common for a lot of these mods. I tested a Senesis dripper on this the other day, and it screwed on no problem. There's a lot of these hybrid adapters that are work on here also. Just keep in mind, this mod is designed for our Addy. So I'm not guaranteeing that every atomizer that's got a 20/1 thread is going to work with the mod, because the button has no adjustment in it. But in some cases, you'll be able to use other Addies on here as well.
So you're saying for the depth of that thread you just named, that may or may not work.
It may, well, it'll thread. I'm not saying it's going to work with every Addy. Like I said, the Senesis dripper, it worked on that, no problem, because the Senesis dripper has an adjustable positive post.
Right.
Some of these other Addies, not all have adjustable positive post. So, it may or may not work. But first projected quantity is going to be 100 pieces for this. And then
Does that
after
count mine or the Pro Batch, or is that separate from the Pro Batch?
Yours is in there. Yours is definitely in there.
What's this going to do to your tanks, brother?
Oh, we're going to keep making the tanks.
Is it going to hinder production at all?
No, I mean, production's always been horrible with our tanks.
Yeah. So how much could it really hinder it, right?
How much could it hinder it,
Yeah.
But, no, what happens is John runs all the parts, and then they come to me for assembly and the final finish. So while I'm assembling mods, he could be running tanks. So
Cool.
it's not, it shouldn't be a problem. We're also gonna go to VaporCon with tanks also. So we'll have tanks, we'll have mods, and hopefully we'll have enough to go around for everybody.
Mudflap says, slam it publicly so China won't clone it. That's not a bad idea, probably.
Yeah, right?
Probably a really good idea.
I don't know. But I'm telling you, I mean, anybody who knows the stuff that we make, we don't put anything out that's not ready. So I'm pretty confident that this thing is ready. Like I said, we're just going to change the spring and that possibly the O-ring. But other than that, this thing is finished. So, and that's it.
Cool. Woohoo, I want a tank.
I just had a sale. I sold all the tanks. They're all gone already. They're all gone already. Any possibility of replace the spring with? No, absolutely not. I tried.
Magnets.
No, no magnets. There's no room in there. I don't know if he heard. The spring that's in this button does not carry any current whatsoever. The one side of the spring that's hitting the button, the other side of the spring is hitting the Delrin insulator. So there is no current carried by the spring. So if they're worried about any kind of restrictions in there, it's not there. There are none. Oh, I don't know if you noticed on this mod there is no vent hole on mine. On the finished product, there will be vent holes. We're trying to get the vent hole through the bottom of the button, so it's not seen. But if we can't, let me focus. Hold on. Why is my focus not working? Okay. We're going to try to get the vent hole dead center of this button. But we may or may not be successful. Worst case scenario, there'll be at least one, if not two, vent holes at the bottom of the tube. So not something I really want to do, but it has to be. There has to be a vent hole in here somewhere. So and that's it. I was originally thinking about putting some decorative grooves in the body and also the addy top, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I actually like the way how smooth it is. That's not to say it can't happen in the future, but right now I think what you're looking at is the finished product. So, and if I could get this, I'm actually working with a couple of guys. Cap Vape is one of them for a drip tip, to do a drip tip similar to the one that's on here now, but with a copper band around the base of the drip tip.
Yes, didn't you give me one of them? Like a
no, that was a brass. That was a
brass.
That was
okay.
brass. But I want to do. I'd like to see some of this copper on the drip tip, not anywhere where it's going to come in contact with the vapor, but just on the outside, just to give it a little bit of copper on the top section. But again, that's in the works right now, and it's carved in stone.
There's a question in the chat asking if the contact is made with the plunger post and the wave washers.
No.
No.
The plunger post makes contact with the negative part of the battery, and the side of the button is actually what's carrying the current. So the button is making contact with the battery with the button housing. That's what's carrying the current. Okay. So the wave washers aren't carrying current. The spring is not carrying any current, and that's the way we designed it. We wanted positive contact.
Or negative contact.
Rather negative contact, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, negative. I mean, yeah. Okay. That's why the button isn't really, the throw's one way. You're not adjusting the throw of the battery. The adjustment on the throw of the battery will actually be the length of the battery.
Absolutely. That
Right.
the length of your bat. First of all, this was designed to work with AW IMR 18490 batteries, or an 18350 or an 18650. That's the brand we chose.
Right.
So that's the only battery we're recommending you use, the AW IMR battery. There are variations. I have like 30 batteries. We measured them all, and there were some batteries that were out of tolerance.
Always. There always is.
Yeah, always. So
it's not even so much the brand.
Yeah, well, again, we want to make sure that, you know, we picked something we know is going to work. You know, if you buy an EFES battery, I'm not going to guarantee the EFES battery is going to work in here.
Yeah.
All right? The AWIMR is the one we chose. The length of the battery is going to dictate the throw and the button. But again, the average button throw on every battery I checked is just, I think it's 1.05 millimeters. So, I mean, you could get a battery that's going to bring you to a 1.5 millimeter throw, but it's not common.
Right.
So, but because I don't like the idea that every time you got to put a battery in a mod, you got to pull the battery tube off, you got to adjust the positive post, put the battery in, make sure it's right. Sometimes the button doesn't screw all the way down. Right. So we wanted to eliminate all of that. And, you know, and obviously when you want to do certain things, some other things get sacrificed. So right. I guess you could say the button throw gets sacrificed, but not enough to be an issue. So, right. Like I said, I could take 10 batteries out of the cabinet right now, put them all, and they'll all be around 1 millimeter of throw.
Right. Right, but that's, you know, again, I think that's what every battery. You know, even if you designed it for an EFES battery or a Panasonic battery or whatever, you know, you're going to have variations. It's you know, it's sort of like the glass. You can't avoid it. You know, it's the
glass.
manufacturing process.
You know, the glass tolerance, we tell the guy we want nothing smaller than 23 millimeter.
Right.
Now, his tolerance is plus or minus 0.5 millimeter. So we have a 1 millimeter O-ring here. You have a 23 millimeter piece of glass. If it's 23 millimeter, it's going to line up perfectly. If it's 23.5 millimeter, it's going to line up perfectly. If it's 24 millimeter, it should still work. But I'm not going to be selling 24 millimeter. Well, my deal with my glass guy is I'm going to get glass 23 to 23.5 millimeter. So every piece of glass that comes from me, spares, they should all work. And, you know...
Uh-oh. We lost them. Close them up and call them back. So yeah, everything we ordered was 23 millimeter long. We won't accept anything less. That's what we told them. I'm just gonna like sort of fill in for Gino. Yeah, so you know, when we designed this thing, we designed it the way we wanted it, not the way that the battery maker wanted it. And we sacrificed a couple things. I don't even think he knows he's not on. Maybe he does. I'm looking over there, so you know I can see over there. So listen, if you're listening right now and you're not in the chat, in chat roll, you should get in here, because in a minute I'm gonna do something. It looks like I'm showing 20 live, maybe in the other chat room. But you should really move into this chat room, because in order to be eligible for this giveaway, you're going to need to be in here. You're going to want to be in here.
We got 20 live in Justin TV.
Pardon me?
In Justin TV, we have 20 live.
That's what it says if I hover over it. So it may just be, you know, Justin TV folks that are bored, but I'm sort of convinced that it's not. If you hover over the top right corner, you'll see it'll gives me a number. What's happening with him, man? Well, hang him up and then try it again. There he is. He's coming back. We lost you, Daddy-O. You got his thing turned off. You got the camera shut off.
It's not showing off.
Oh, ours is... Oh, never mind.
Camera's fine.
All right, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I filled in for you.
Oh,
you
good.
know, I just like started on. I said, you know, we make it the way we want it, not for the battery companies. It's the way we want it, and that's what we're doing. That's it.
You know what it is? I want to be specific because, you know, if we take 3-4 different batteries, we might not have been able to get the self-adjusting negative side, and we really wanted to have that in the mod. So, you know, I mean, AWIMR battery is a of the most common battery that I know of. So,
right.
And I like their batteries. So, and the tank is definitely quartz, fused quartz.
Right.
Somebody asked that in the chat.
Nah,
Hey,
quartz
Jeannie's
quartz.
here.
Yeah, Jeannie's here. Hey, Jeannie. Did Dino just say Ma?
What am I supposed to
Fabulous.
say? Personal vaporizer?
APV.
APV?
Yeah, advanced personal vaporizer, because that's definitely advanced. So, hon, you have the chat up? Are you busy? Are you busy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me know when you're not. Okay then. So listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to ask Dino a question right now, and in this sentence, I'm going to use a word that is going to be relevant to the newsletter scavenger hunt. For those that are listening, or for those that are going to tune in later, to win a curve of their choice. They don't know that yet, unless they're here. Then they know. But if they're not here, they don't know. So it's very sneaky. Now, for those of you who tuned in last week, you would know that Dino did a build on his, which I'm selling, the lava gen, which is the reactor gen, but it's the lava gen inside a reactor, which makes it a lava reactor gen. So there was a part on there that I just like the name of it, and I think Dino made it up. But because I've never heard it before, but maybe he didn't. Maybe it's a common term that I was unfamiliar with. But it's called a jam nut. Now, is there a jam nut on the Copperhead?
Yes, there is.
No, there is. Okay.
Yes.
Now, see, that makes. I told you. I knew there was a reason why I was getting a little chub when you were showing that mod off before, and that's because you got a jam nut on that. Now, I don't even know what it looks like or nothing else, but I really like the sound of it. With those two words together, that's a good sound. So, jam nut, which is on the Copperhead, and the lava reactor gen, or the reactor lava gen, however you want to call it, it's that thing that he makes inside of the thing that I makes. There's jam nuts on both of them. Now, who was paying attention earlier, besides me and Dino, when he was talking about, I can't give it to you that quick, we still got 10 minutes. What else do you know? Listen, show me that thing you were showing me earlier. The build on that thing, that vertical build thing.
Oh, you want
Put
to
his
see
hands up, huh?
All right. I got to start getting manicures again. I haven't gotten a manicure in a few weeks.
Listen, you have very pretty hands. For a guy with like sausage fingers like you, your hands are really pretty.
I thought I
the
had
prettiest little sausages I've ever seen on a hand.
All right, hang on.
This is a really cool bull. Cool build. I just said kill bull. Jam nut. Now there is no jam nut on this particular device that I know of.
No, there actually is.
Oh. But yeah, check this build out.
Hold on. Let me
Tell
get
me
my
about
focus.
Now this is the
Origin. Origin dripper.
Origin.
O-R-I-G-E-N.
Right, but it's not a Genesis.
No.
But they just used the gen.
Dripping atomizer.
Yeah, but they got the gen in there. It should be a...
No, he made a Genesis atomizer called the Origin also. And that was the Origin Addy. The Origin Genesis Addy. But anyway, this is the build that I did on this. This is a dual coil, 26 gauge, 6 wraps, micro coil with organic cotton wick.
It looks like it got shot out of a machine. Now, could you point out the jam nut on there for me, please?
You're an idiot. Hold on a second.
Because, you know, I should know what one it is. It's a pretty word. I should see what it looks like.
That's the jam nut right there.
Oh, baby. Jam that nut. So that nut is jammed.
That's a jam nut. But the nice thing about this Addy is look at all the air hole options you have. You can do single coil, you can do dual coil, and you got different sizes for each one. So
well, and listen, that's very similar to the one, this other one, right? This little cyclone.
Yeah, but
thing.
see, this one's set up vertically, and I don't know if you could see, but there's wells right in here on each side where the juice goes into. So,
right, so in other words, that juice is laying there. It's not dripping out your hole.
No,
because nobody likes a drippy hole.
No, it's not coming out of my hole. So, but I'm telling you, this is probably my favorite dripping Addy right now.
You just got it. You can't say that.
I know. I love everything.
Come on.
You don't understand. I jump from device to device to device. All right. I just like I can at this point in the game when I see something that works well and I see how it's made, right. I fall in love with it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Until something new comes out.
How much was it?
I forgot. I want to say somewhere around $100.
What country?
Hungary.
Hungary.
So you can take the hand camera off now, producer.
Mm-hmm.
Producer. That's a technical producer. All right, so
technical producer.
I'm gonna ask a question. I gotta see if I can remember one. Jam nut, jam nut, jam nut. Hun, my daughter's retarded. She's outside the door making faces. It's like a mini me. Curse. So at any rate, I'm going to ask a question. What do you think? What? Oh, yeah, it is.
Being that we're talking dirty, check this out.
Oh, don't put that too close to the cameras. Listen, I got an order today for a woman's prison. I can't understand it. They ordered like 6 of them.
I hear they're going to let e-cigs in what they call it, in jail now. I think the women's jail.
There is a jail. There's a jail already that has them.
Yeah,
I don't think they're, I don't think they're letting meth mods in, but That's the curve 26, by the way.
26 500. 500, that's this. This ain't the big one.
Now listen, you got what other tube mods you got there?
I have.
You got a silver bullet?
No, I don't. I had a silver bullet, and John had a friend that was that he wanted to get into vaping, so I sent it to him. Yeah, I got.
Because listen, this is my gripe. Everybody says how fat it is. It's the same size as a silver bullet.
Oh, I don't know.
It's actually a little thinner at one point. Or any of these 26 650s.
Man, what do you expect?
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing, you know, it works. I mean, it hits like a friggin' freight train, this thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm pleased with it. You know, that's the other thing, like before, and I don't want to rag on your mod. By no means am I ragging on your mod, but honestly, I think one of the things you mentioned before about, like, some people don't like brass or some people like brass, but some of the things that people talk about in the community, like the silver plating, gold plating, aluminum's like the number 2 conductor. I think it's like...
Yeah, aluminum is a great conductor.
Gold, silver, aluminum. So these people that say they want brass...
It's not durable.
Well, it oxidizes.
Yeah, but see, if I made this mod in aluminum, it would have to be a lot thicker. And that's the only reason why we go with a different material.
No. I mean, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, you say to throw at a switch. Like you're one of them guys. Somebody said in here earlier, if they didn't know better, they'd think you were a woman, because you're particular about stuff like that, like the throw, whether it's brass, whether it's silver, whether it's copper, and it shows in that mod. And I'm not down on that. What I'm saying is that for me, the throw at a button, if I push it and it works, that's good. If it's a millimeter shorter or longer, it doesn't make that much difference to me.
Yeah, well, let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
I follow what people's... I try every mod I can get my hands on. I like to see what's good and what's not. And what I do is I listen to the complaints that people have about certain mods. So, all right, I hear one guy, he's got an atomizer, he's got brass in the atomization chamber. Some people are okay with that, some people aren't. The majority of the people, I think, are not okay with it. Yeah. So I decided to go with stainless steel inside the atomization.
Personally, I wouldn't want it. I agree with you. I think stainless steel is
and that's why I do it. Now, what I do is I try to take something like the button throw. I hear somebody complain a while back that the Nemesis had too long of a throw. So, and then I see the Nemesis came out with another contact to put in the button to make it a shorter throw. So now that sticks in my brain. People like a short throw on a button. So, you know, of all the mods that I've tried and all the atomizers that I've tried over the past few years, I try to take a little something from every one of them. You know, I like what I liked about this mod, or what I liked about that mod that the other one didn't have. So essentially what I did was John and I designed this device of all the things that we have seen in other devices, but we're lacking in other areas. So, and that's what we tried to do. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, somebody's going to say, well, I like a longer throw, so the short throw is not going to be, they're not going to be happy with. Somebody's going to say they want brass contacts in the atomizer. I don't. Some people say they want gold-plated contacts. Other people say they like silver-plated contacts. So what you try to do is just do the best you can with the information you got, and that's what we did.
But it's funny, somebody was mentioning in there, I'm trying to look something up. I probably
and then also there's the cost factor. You know, then you got a cost factor that you got to deal with besides. You know, you want to make it where it's reasonably priced. You know, you don't want to you don't want to make it where it's going to cost you $800 for a mod or $500 for a mod. You want to try to make it something reasonable. Absolutely. And I think that our price is reasonable. It's not a cheap mod. It's not cheap. I'll be the first one to say it. But it's also, it's a well-made mod. And a lot of thought and a lot of work went into this thing. So I think that the price is warranted, and I think it's reasonable for what you're getting in the package.
Right. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at this resistance chart. And, you know, these people say rhodium. Rhodium's like so far down on the list.
You know, rhodium contacts. I got to tell you something. I like rhodium. I like rhodium because it's maintenance free.
Right.
I would actually prefer a contact that has a little bit less resistance, more resistance, just for the fact that I wouldn't have to maintain it. The silver-plated contact has to be maintained, but people want the performance, and I'll tell you right now, this mod has performance.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking at this right now, and
the
copper,
voltage drop.
copper, deoxidized copper is number 2, below only silver, above gold, and above aluminum.
Yeah.
But pure is a little bit higher, and electrolytic tough pitch is higher, but it's like by the percentage of IACs, whatever that is, it's like 103 compared to 100. So
You know, the copper. This copper is. I think it says in the description where we purchase it. It's 99.99% pure copper.
right.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm actually going to look it up while we're here. But we wanted a material that was going to be highly conductive. But there's maintenance involved with that. But then again, there's maintenance with almost every mod you buy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to.
Well, you know, listen. A lot of people stay away from like aluminum is because it oxidizes, but it oxidizes against other materials.
Here's the description.
Go ahead.
Of the stuff we bought. Ultra conductive copper alloy 101, also known as oxygen-free, high conductive, or oxygen-free electronic copper.
Right.
This ultra conductive is 99.99% copper. Good for high temperature applications.
Well, according to the conductivity chart that I'm looking at, that's second only to silver, which I thought gold was the number 1 conductor.
No, I knew gold wasn't the number 1. I knew
silver is
up there though. Well, yeah, that's pure silver, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The contacts on the Addy are silver plated.
Right.
It's silver plated over brass. So,
right.
But you know, I'm not gonna say what the voltage loss was on the mod when I tested it, because I know I'm gonna hear a million different things. But I will say that the voltage loss on this mod under load was minimal, and it was I was impressed by the voltage loss. So that's as much as I'll say about it.
Well, that alone is very impressive.
Very difficult to machine, this copper. It's like bubble gum when you machine it. So, but you know, I got a good partner, and he's a friggin' master at what he does.
All right, so listen, hon, I want you to write down the names that are in the chat right now, or screenshot it for me. Everybody that's in this chat room right now, send me an email with the screen name that's on here, and I'm going to send you a prototype. Well, it's not prototype, they're final production bottom dual coil cartomizers. They're not going to ship. I repeat, they will not ship until Thursday or Friday, if I'm lucky. If they don't ship until Monday, don't go crazy. In the email that you send me what kind you want. I have 510 connection or Ego connection. So if you want 510 or Ego, put it in the email. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 people in here. that are showing who they are. So, and the magic question. Do I need another question? I don't need a question. There is no magic question.
Jam nut, right?
Yeah, the magic word is jam nut. Say that one time for me, Dino.
Jam nut.
Yeah, baby. All right, listen, everybody. Thank you very much. We're running over. Put the email in there, hon. The email is going to be up in a minute. Thank you very much for stopping in. It was fun. We appreciate you, and have a great week. Good night from eCigtv. Me and Dino, the master of disaster.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, my green screen disappeared. Put Low Boy on the list, then. And put the email in there. Did you put the email in, hon?
What?
The email.
Yeah, honey, listen, you.
Oh, okay, you got it.